My name is Denise and I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. As a mom with a child with special needs, I have thought about sexuality and relationships, mostly because my daughter talks about it quite a bit. It's an important topic to her. She would love to be in a relationship. She'd like to have a boyfriend. She'd someday like to get married. You're talking about self-advocacy in the area and wanting information. As a parent, I would like to know that. How do I move her into that arena? I know she's interested in boys, but selections in boys, I guess when you're young, everyone wants the captain of the football team. How do you make the choices that are right and appropriate for you, and knowing yourself well enough to make those choices?
I would like to adopt. I don't want to have children, and I would like to get married someday, but I don't know when. But for me, that's one of my goals, later in life, to have a family or to get married or have a house of my own.
Kelsey's dream to be married someday and have a partner. Ways I see of supporting her in that is having her be involved in all the social activities we do, ways to meet young men, ways to meet people. That's really important. I think the way we all meet people, usually it's through friends or through something we're interested in, so we just keep her doing what she's interested in and connecting with folks and believing that will happen. Sexuality is not something you talk about, and yet it has to be out there on the table. It really does. I have to put my own, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're talking about this, and talk about it because it is important. It's important to her. It's important, it's part of being an adult, part of our lives, so it is important. But your question of how to get the information and what are we looking for, all the things you said, I guess, what makes a healthy relationship, how do you find somebody, how do you start a relationship, how do you end a relationship, good behaviors in that, what are your expectations, respect, how should one be treated, the romantic part of it, that it really needs to be kind of almost a step-by-step to help understand how that works. I know she's very curious about it, and that's very typical for her age. And I to be able to help her with that.
I was in a relationship, but I broke up with the person because it was long distance and it didn't work out, and he was cheating, and I didn't like that, and I told myself if I want to stay with that person, then I might get hurt more and more, so I broke up with him, and now we're not even talking. So I think that's a good thing to know that I can stand up for myself even though I have a disability.
Women are vulnerable in our society. People, men and women with disabilities, are much more vulnerable in our society. So when you talk about self-advocacy and then you combine that with sexual self-advocacy, there's a real strong part that comes to my mind of speaking up, speaking your mind, and not being taken advantage of. That's what comes to mind when you start talking like that. It's more of almost a protection.
Some people don't think that people with disabilities can have children or can't get married because they have a disability, and that's not right. That kind of that thing and set of how people can be towards other people.